Fantastic. Now, please rise and remove your hats for the play of tonight's national anthem.
Welcome, hockey fans, to the start of the 2024-25 season of Eastern Washington University hockey. My name is Gary Allen. I'll be joined by Tyler Pisani in a second. We're having a puck drop right now, a ceremonial, so we will be watching that. We're about getting ready to set this contest up with Eastern Washington University playing the Idaho Vandals from Moscow. They played an exhibition game a week ago, and the Vandals won that one, but it was a heck of a good contest. And it'll be interesting this year. And like I said, Tyler Pisani, the play-by-play man, he'll be joining me here in a second. He's down there doing all the intros and that, so he'll be joining us. But this is going to be an interesting squad this year for Eastern. They got a lot of talent. They brought in a lot of talent, and they had a lot of returners that are extremely talented. So this is going to be a stout hockey team. It'll be interesting to see how they get started in this first game. Opening lineup right now is Pillar will be on defense with Wells. It looks like Frank Flood and Sam Thompson is out there. And it looks like Joel Lusby taking the draw for the Eagles. Getting ready to set the puck drop now. And the game is underway. A quick whistle. They dropped the puck a little bit too soon. They weren't set up yet. For Idaho, it'll be interesting to see how they deal with this crowd, because there is a huge crowd here tonight. They got the mezzanines all full, the catwalk's full, and the beer garden and the roofs is full. So there's a large crowd here tonight watching Eagles. Eastern won the draw, kicked it over, long pass over to Thompson, a little bit too far off his stick. Puck went in. Wells picked it up in the neutral zone, shoots it back in. And I'm going to find it interesting to see how quick Eastern will try to start on offense. They were kind of laid back in that exhibition game last week, but again, they didn't have 5 players in that game, so it'll be interesting to see how they adjust with everybody in the lineup playing. In net for Eastern, it looks like Sam Brash is starting for him. A big hit early by the Eagles. In the crowd, you can hear that. They love that. Don Mazurki had it. He kind of kicked it in. He's going to be an outstanding player for these. One of the new players. Super nice kid, along with Robbie Arbor, he's another new-time player. There's a lot of good hockey players here. We got a really good netminder out of Las Vegas, Luke, and I still have to learn how to pronounce his name, but told Luke already I'm going to give him a nickname of Shoe. Just a lot of talent that came in this year for Eastern, so it'll be interesting how they mesh, but they look good in the exhibition. The black and white game they played 2 weeks ago, they looked real good. So I think if you're an Eastern fan, you got one heck of a hockey team this year to come and watch. Idaho has it in behind the net. They try to kick it out front, blowing up by Keegan Clark. Just blew up the Vandal off. They're coming out. Tyler Pisani will be joining me any second now. Sam Brash through the that was Keegan Clark that had it, but dropped it in. Wells goes back in his end. He has the puck. Crowley looking for Bunch. And Tyler's getting close. He's getting close right now. He's getting his headset on. We're about ready to go.
We are here, Gary. We've made it.
I was still around long enough, Tyler. I was counting on you.
Well, we made it. That is a long list of players this year to get through for intros. I'll tell you that much.
But they are a talented bunch. I think they are going to be stout this year.
They are. These two teams played in an exhibition game earlier this month, and I'm not sure that Eastern really showed up for that game.
Well,
it was a little tough for them.
It was, but then they were missing their 5 players, and so they so it'll be another take away from Idaho. They got a good hockey club. They truly do.
It'll be interesting to watch them this year. You know, we talked about it a bit last year for any of our new fans out there that Idaho had kind of gone away for a couple of years and they're working to rebuild. And we talked about how impressed we were when we saw them up here playing a couple of other teams last year.
Yeah, they're going to be a force to play against. But I'm real excited about this Eagle bunch this year. I really am. I think they're going to be just a great hockey team. They brought in some bangers this year too, so that's going to help them against some of the teams that are more physical last year. As we watched, they brought in some hitters for Eastern this year, so that'll nullify some of these squads that came in last year.
Well, and that's kind of, I think, what the idea was going into the offseason. Go out and recruit not just a little bit higher level players. You notice, there's some juniors players out here this year that we haven't seen in a few years. But it was about going out with intention, finding guys that fill some of these roles that we lost. It's great to see Trent Wells back out here with the team, captain last year, decided, you know what, let's give it one more run. Yeah. And we've got a couple of guys out here, that you'll recognize from last year, but I'd say probably, just as many guys that you won't recognize.
Mm-hmm. But it was a nice blend this year on how the returners and new players compared to last year when they had just a ton of new players coming in. But a couple of these kids like Adam Pellerin, another standout. Nate Kowalik, he's going to be a find for Eastern this year too. So it's just a well-rounded squad right now. Even though it's the start of the season, you could see it happening last week in that exhibition. They were really getting along well, figuring each other out.
Well, and you talk about Adam Pellerin, number 27, son of Scott Pellerin, who's currently an associate coach on the Spokane Chiefs. He's got a background playing for a little team called the Arizona Coyotes. A little bit of time in the NHL. Also, Wyatt Stevenson, another product of Turner Stevenson, another NHL player out here on this team. And we talk about it a lot for this club, but it's more than what we see on the ice. There's a very good culture here that's been built both by the university and by the team. And we see that here tonight, a full barn here in Cheney to witness this home opener between the Eagles and the Idaho Vandals.
Well, it's an interesting pairing with Wells and Pellerin because they both have high hockey IQ, and I think they're going to feed off each other extremely well. So I can see those two demons getting some points this year, just the way they play with each other.
We see these fancy new red uniforms out here for Eastern Washington. What an incredible way to kick off the season with that intro. The train horns, no sound is more iconic in Cheney, I think, than a dang train horn. So what a way to bring the boys in today. But now it's time to get down to business. Wraparound attempt there goes all the way over to the far side. Picked up as Mac Tierney comes into the attacking end. Big hit behind the net by Dom Jurkic. And it looks like Eastern starting off strong, picking up the first penalty of the season.
Yeah,
just 5 minutes and 19 seconds.
Yeah, they're going to get Brody Roach on that one. Yeah, that was one thing I noticed in that exhibition that I was hoping that, but no, they took their fair share of penalties, let's say, in that exhibition game. But on that one, Brody, the referee thought he maybe hit him a little high, but I mean, they like to hit. This squad seems like they're going to like to bang this year, and so we'll see what happens with them. But again, they have so many returners. They're okay being shorthanded. They're accustomed to it, like we've talked about the last 2 years. So they're kind of used to playing shorthanded.
And a big save there by the returner, Sam Brash. So did you catch what that penalty for Roach was?
No, I was trying to find out who got the penalty. I was looking down there. I didn't see the referee. My hunch is he's going to get him for a cross check because it was in the middle of the ice.
And now a chance for Lund. He's going to come down the ice, digs it out of the corner, looking to push it back towards the center of the ice. But a Vandal player there to take it away. And here's Gortzen coming up. Going to dump it in just as he gets to the blue line, rims it around near side. Here to pick it up are the Vandals.
I think the one thing you'll see this year, just how quick and fast the Eagles are. They really increase their speed compared to previous years. They're a really quick hockey team, and that's going to bode well for them against some of the teams they're going to face that like to do that open style, free flow game.
Well, and I've already noticed here, Gary, that no matter where the puck is on the ice, Idaho's planting somebody waiting at Eastern's blue line, kind of here blending in close against the stands, basically right where we'll have this puck drop. It'll be interesting to watch that over the course of this game, see if Eastern picks up on it or if Idaho's able to capitalize.
I think what Idaho did last week when they played, they did like to do some cherry picking. They like to do that long stretch pass. And they caught Eastern a little bit off of it, and they're doing it again now too. But with Eastern speed, that's where it's going to be interesting to see if you can get away with that stretch pass game with them.
Digging it out of the back for Idaho now. Back up top, over to the far side. Down low, now feeding it out front. Chance by Idaho from the slot, but not able to make anything happen. Looks like that was Carlos De Leon. And a big hit by Robbie Arbor, a new player for Eastern Washington. He's from the Spokane Valley. He actually played ACHA D1 last year at Waldorf University. So he's one that I know the coaching staff is excited to see what he can do this year, coming down from that D1 level. And you saw it right there. He's not afraid to throw his body around.
And he's a force in front of the net. He loves plopping himself in front of the net, and he's hard to move. He's a big kid.
Puck over in front of the Idaho bench. There with it is Gortzen. He's going to feed it near side to De Leon. Shot blocked away by Brash. His third save of the game so far. And now, a big opportunity for Idaho. Big save by Sam. It bounces back behind his leg pad. Puck still loose, out in front. Bodies everywhere in the blue paint. And finally, Eastern Washington able to clear it. That's a momentum builder.
But you got to give Eastern's credit. If you notice their two D-man, Pellerin and Wells, they were down in front of the net when on that open side, and they were actually blocking the puck too. But that's how well they played together. They saw Brash was in trouble. And then the far side was open. They went instantly, both of them, and they actually blocked the net to prevent anything that Idaho could get on that. Outstanding job by both those D-men.
This one kicked back up out of the zone, and now a chance for Frank Flood. He's going to bring it parallel to the blue line. He's got a man in the middle trying to bring it there himself. Gets that shot on net. Bouncing puck, still not in control of the Idaho netminder, Croselius. Banging bodies through the neutral zone, and Idaho again able to bring it into the attacking zone. Off onto the far side is Lucas Ting.
But if you notice that Eastern's doing a nice job of, granted, Idaho's getting the puck in past the blue line, but Eastern's picking them up right before the top of the circle. And so they're not really letting Idaho attack them. They're kind of letting them go ahead and cross the line, but then they're putting pressure on them to move the puck. It's working real well for Eastern.
Well, it's clear that they're comfortable with Sam's ability in net back there. They're letting him defend those shots from 25, 30 feet out. And he's doing that well. Again, now Eastern looking for the stretch pass, heading the other way. And down goes Carson Kendall, local product here from the Spokane Braves. He's familiar with the area, and the area is familiar with him, watching him come up through the local organizations and then play for the Braves last year.
He's a sharp hockey player. He has another high IQ also.
And you see it right there. The backhand pass out front, nobody there. That one up off of the glove, shot taken by ACHA into the netting.
But I like what I'm seeing what Eastern's doing right now. They're really kind of spreading out the thing. Rather than bunching in, they're actually trying to stretch Idaho out. And they're looking for a guy to shoot across in front of the net. And they've gotten a couple shots doing it that way. And so that means they're really comfortable with their lines right now, how they're playing.
So a face-off on the far side. And that one again up into the netting. Quick reset off on to the far side. In the shadow of the Roost, our first game of the season, our first 21 and over beer garden. Gary, can you believe that? Here at the URC, you can head on in, $10 ticket, get you in the game or into the beer garden. You just got to be 21 or over, and those proceeds do go back to benefit the team directly. Wells with it. He's going to go across to the far side. Shot taken back of the net. Eastern Washington able to open their account less than 10 minutes into the new season.
Well, that is Pellerin. He got the shot. He actually did a shot pass, it looked like. And if I'm not mistaken, that Bunch got the goal. A nice job by him because he just put his stick down in front of the net. But that was a heads-up play by Pellerin on that because he saw Bunch go cut in front of the net. And it was interesting. I was going to mention it earlier. Is I'd love to see Eastern get the lead, see how that puts a little pressure on Idaho, see how they respond. And with this crowd, they're real noisy. That definitely will give Eastern a lot of momentum. But outstanding play on that one from Pellerin, looking for Bunch to cut in front of the net.
Well, just like that, Eastern Washington on top. 9 minutes, 50 seconds into the first period of their 25th anniversary season. It's Bunch from Pellerin, and Eastern knocking on the door again. We haven't even talked about that yet, Gary. 25th anniversary of Eastern Washington hockey, and they're looking to make quick work again. We're going to have a delayed call against Eastern Washington again. It looks like a hook out in front. I think maybe Jelinek just couldn't get his stick into that area, or actually looks like they're not going to take Jelinek. They're going, is that Lusk? Yep, that is Joel Lusk headed to the box.
That's an interesting call, though. I think you're right. I just don't think he could have got a stick out of the way, and it looked like a hook. And but it'll be good. Again, Eastern accustomed, even though there are a lot of new players, but it looks like they're used to playing shorthanded. And so that from past years, they're okay with that as long as they keep moving the puck.
Face-off won by Idaho in the Vandals' control on the power play, their second of the night. And we had just kind of touched on it, Gary. 25th anniversary for Eastern Washington hockey, starting in 1999 all the way through now through to 2024. It's going to be an incredible season. I know the Booster Club has a lot of stuff planned. And now an errant puck, a chance here for Eastern Washington, shorthanded, shot in and out of the glove by Sean Smith. Eastern able to make work of the shorthanded situations last year, which was good because they were on a lot of them.
Well, they're always looking for offense, and that's what I like how they got their penalty kill right there. They got Sean Smith out there, and he's dangerous. He's extremely quick. tremendous offensive hockey player, and like right there, he's looking to break in. He's not thinking of, okay, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to try to go for offense. He's just a great player to have back also. Great offensive mind. I like Smitty.
So then we have a second assist on that last Eastern Washington goal. They're going to give Peyton Lund that second assist. So officially 9:50 of the first, a bunch from Pellerin and Lund. And a big save there by Sam Brash.
And Lund must have kicked it out to Pellerin on that one. And that's when he went from there. But just a heads-up play all the way around for Eastern on that power play, on that goal. But again, if you look at Eastern, they seem comfortable, even though they're short-handed. They seem, for some reason, they just look comfortable. But let's hopefully they don't get real comfortable like they did in the past on being short-handed.
Yeah, they have been leaders in the nation in penalties more than one time in the last 5 years. I know that's something that the coaches, Joey Porco, former player, and Jay Oyen, getting the nod to head the bench this year. Something that they've been focusing on is discipline, discipline, discipline. And I even saw, the 10 seconds that I was over there to start the game, Mr. Porco not happy with the way that that they had started, maybe a little undisciplined. We always talk about the Pac-8. Idaho not in the Pac-8. They are in the ACHA Western region. But congratulations to our general manager, Travis Allen, who actually was named the Pac-8 commissioner back in in February. Somebody needs to get me a calendar and a calculator. Back in February, the Pac-8 tournament here. So lots of big changes coming to the Pac-8 and the way that they play hockey, really thriving trying to make this the #1 college hockey conference on the West Coast, and I think they're well on their way. Now a chance for Eastern Washington. Flood has it. He's got Thompson in the middle. We saw those two connect quite a bit last year. On their line this year is Eli Nickish, a pair of brothers. Eli and Jacob, number 3 and number 26, respectively. Tierney beat around the outside, but not able to get a clean shot off on net were the Vandals. Pushing and shoving back behind the net. Tierney's going to pick it up. He's got a battle. Ludwig diving play out front, and now a chance for Eastern to head the other way. Flood's got one man in front of him. He's just got to get around Trivial Piece. And he's able to get that shot on net. But the door closed by Priscillius.
And Priscillius had to close that door because Durkis, he was right there. If there was any rebound at all, he would have buried it in the net. Nice job by Dom to even trail the play.
6:51 here in the opening period. Eastern able to net an early goal, thanks to newcomer on the team, Dawson Bunch, getting his first goal in an Eastern Washington uniform.
Another kid to watch is Jelinek. He's another kid that's extremely quick out there, and he's strong. He's a load to try to move, and so he's another player to watch this year.
He's another local high-level player that people around here might recognize from the Coeur d'Alene Academy, originally from Lewiston. Jelinek, 160, 5'7" forward. Now bringing it down into the zone is Melenda. He has it taken away. It's going to go over to the far side now, back out into the neutral zone. Keegan Clark coming in there with some speed. And knocked off of the puck, now over to the far side. Paulson sends it down, but it's taken away by the stick of Pellerin. It's going to go up over to the far side, back to the stick of Trivial Piece. High and off the glass dump, back into the end, just playing pass between the two defensive pairs here at the moment. But now an opportunity for Idaho is coming in was Keefe, but that's going to make it down back behind the goal line for an icing. 5:26 left to play in this opening period. Shots 12-8 in favor of Eastern Washington. But, Gary, it is standing room only in this building. I mean, so much so that we're surrounded here.
Yeah,
this is not a common sight in this building.
No, this is huge. One thing I really like what I'm seeing Eastern, they are moving the puck. They're not standing around. They're really putting offensive pressure constantly on Idaho. Even when they're in their zone, they're always moving. It's a motion offense, and it's working really well for them right now. Got to give Idaho credit. They haven't caved in, but they're kind of running around a little bit because Eastern's just putting a lot of heat on them.
Another loose puck out at the top of the crease there, and Idaho looking to throw their body around a little bit, is bringing it out of the zone as Keith. But Eastern really putting that pressure on, making Idaho play defense, and we all know it's tougher to play defense. It's more exhausting, and if you can keep up that pressure, they're going to make a mistake in their own end, and Eastern's going to have to capitalize. What a screen out front. Shot goes between the legs of Lund, and now some pushing and shoving. I thought Lund was fairly cordial there.
Yeah, I didn't really see anything what would upset. London hit the goaltender or anything.
No, I was impressed with his hops there.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that was going to hit him.
But you got to tip your cap to the Vandals right now. They've been really absorbing a lot of heat from Eastern. They haven't caved in like I was mentioned earlier, but they're trying to slow them down by using the body more. How you pick it up, they're starting to hit them more. But sooner or later, that's going to get them tired.
Genie puts a shot on net, deflects off about 4 people before finally finding its way out into the corner. Idaho looking to get it out of their zone, finally do. We're back to full strength hockey. This one pushed ahead to Flood. He touches it at the blue line, but can't get it any further. Chasing back behind is Lusk. One slapped out of the air by the Vandals and sent back behind the net. Looking to be his own little wrecking crew back there, I think was Wilson.
Almost that stretch pass from Crew. He was looking for Lusk on that one. Almost had it.
Little dipsy doodle play there as here comes Lusk trying to get around the last man. Gets that out front. I don't think Flood saw it. And it'll be Idaho's turn to check out the sin bin. Their first trip to the box tonight coming 16:05. And we'll see what the call is. Looks like it was for a hold.
You're right, though, Tyler. This crowd is so big that they're all behind us now, too. I mean, when you mentioned I looked, and it's like, yeah, you're right. That's how packed it is. And it's good to see because this is a good hockey team. If you can out there, you got to come out and watch Eastern. They are going to be a stout team this year. There's no question in my mind about it. Even though it's early in the year, they're just that talented.
And there was a lot of talk last year about it being a rebuild year. And just like that, Dom Zerkis opens up his scoring account here for Eastern Washington. Goes just over the left shoulder of Crescelius and doubles up the lead. What a quick power play goal for the Eastern Washington Eagles. That one coming just 15 seconds into the power play. Officially 16:10. I'm sorry, just 5 seconds into the power play.
The Jerkis has a hellacious shot. He's got one heck of a slap shot, and his snapshot is even better, and that's what he did right there. He just buried the top shelf. There was absolutely nothing.
And we talked about that on the other side, how Eastern Washington's letting Idaho shoot from that exact position. And this early on in the season, for both teams, you don't really know what you have out there.
No, you don't.
You're either on your team or on the other one. And now, you mentioned Jelinek. He was coming down the ice. Brought it into the zone. Eastern offsides, has to reset.
But that was a quick goal, and that starts weighing on you after a while. Now, I think the next goal is crucial. If Idaho gets it, they're in the game. If Eastern gets it, here they go again. Here's a quick backhand. There it is. There it is. That was Lusk because they got it. I'm trying to see.
I think that was Lund out there.
That wasn't Lund?
Yeah,
it was.
That looks like 18. Okay.
But
this one coming, Gary, just 40 seconds after the last goal.
It'll be interesting. It looked like Bunch may pick up that assist on that one because he kicked it up to Lund. But nice heads-up play by Lund. He just he did a quick fake and looped around the D-man, had an open end for backhand. Nice play up by Eastern. And that was a crucial goal. That's going to put a lot of pressure on the Vandals.
So the last 2 goals, officially 16-10 of the first period. Zerkis from Lusk on the power play, and then 40 seconds later, it's Lund from Jelinek opening up his scoring account here at Eastern Washington, an even strength goal. As we said, lots of new faces, and they're starting to click. In comes Robbie Arver. He takes that shot and swallowed up and turtled by the netminder Cresselius, as some extracurriculars over there talking about heading on down to the Barrel House. Got to pick out their favorite pizza toppings. Idaho's been here before. They know the drill. You got to order early. Make sure our pizzas are ready.
Got to order early and often, I guess, after looking at this crowd tonight.
Yeah. This, if even 10% of these people go down to the Barrel House after this, and I'm still watching people walk in, Gary.
Yeah. There's almost like a line still.
We got the fire marshal up there, maybe.
I hope not.
I mean, there's not a whole lot of room left in this building. If you're at home listening, there's still room for you, though, so come on down.
This has been a quick period. It feels like just a real fast pace, last period.
Yeah, I mean, less than 40 minutes so far. Bouncing puck. Nickish, he feeds it up top to Arver. Arver deflected out front off of the shaft of Sean Smith's stick. And just like that, Robbie Arver gets his assist.
Now it feels like the floodgates are starting to open a little bit. I mean, you know, with all the pressure we've been talking about it all period, Eastern's just been flooding them, and they haven't not let up at all. They've been relentless, and I think right now Idaho just needs to get in, regroup, try to figure out how they're going to slow it down, but I think they're going to have to attack them in the neutral zone. They can't let Eastern fly around like this. It won't bode well for them, but man, Eastern's looking strong right now. We even got Swoop in the house.
So
you know that. Did you see Swoop out here?
I did see him. We were hanging out in the penalty box.
He's right behind us.
So that goal coming 17:44 of the first period was Robbie Arver's first goal. I thought that deflected off of Smith, the shaft of Smith's stick out front, but they're going to say no. So Arver opens up his account here in front of a packed house. Assist going to Eli Nickish and Mr. Sean Smith. So he still gets a little love on that goal.
I think Smitty and Arver are going to be a nice pair, and they could, you know, they kick Jelinek on there. That's going to be a solid line for him. Because both Arver and Smitty like to bang, and so you know, well, Jelinek does too. So
now quick takeaway right out front. Makes the goalie deke to one side and then falls straight down. Durzik made him look a little silly there for Eastern's fifth goal of the period, fifth goal of the night.
I don't know how to say it. Not a little. So he just totally deked him out. The Durzik, he's just one heck of a hockey player. You saw that in the black and white game. The guy is just stout, and he's just showing his offensive skills right now. Eastern is not letting up. They're just keeping on. So now it'll be interesting for Eastern to see how they respond now in the second and third period, because they can't let up. Last year they did that a few times and it bit them.
Especially in that second period, long change here at the URC. That goal officially 18:43 from number 28, Dom DeZerkis.
We've got a delayed penalty coming up.
Big windup there for Carson. Looked up, saw the stripes, and thought better of that.
I was surprised the Idaho goalie didn't come off but I don't know if he even saw the referee lift his hand up.
Yeah, it was a full 200 feet down there back behind the net. And it looks like it'll be a hook coming at 18:59 for Keegan Clark.
Celius is playing a good game. Do not misunderstand. I mean, he's been inundated with all kinds of shots. The kid's played extremely well.
And now with some speed, here comes the Eagles. Jelinek in the center, and instead Peyton Lund goes up top. It's going to bounce all the way to the top of the zone. Lund not letting up on that forecheck. Idaho a little slow to get the puck out of their zone, and they're having to pay for that here. The last couple of goals have come from them taking their time getting that puck out across the blue line.
And now you got Lund and Jelinek out front on this penalty kill, and they're very fast. They're really, really shifty players. So I would not be surprised to see a breakaway off of one of those two.
And here we see it again. Idaho, Bobby Ludwig waiting at that blue line, just hoping that Eastern doesn't see him. Comes back to his own blue line as the puck comes up through the neutral zone. Back with it is Wilson. Wilson's going to carry it along the left side, tries to put it out front. And just like that, Eastern Washington, maybe the best 20 minutes of hockey we've seen in a couple of years from this squad. I'm excited for the season. I'm excited for the rest of the game. We'll be back in 18 minutes as the Eastern Washington Eagles lead 5-0 over the University of Idaho Vandals. But they'll start that second period with a man in the box for 59 seconds. You're watching Eastern Washington University men's hockey. friends and family, welcome back to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center for the second period of action here in the 25th anniversary season for Eastern Washington. They lead the University of Idaho Vandals 5-0 after the first period. Lots of new faces on the score sheet. Bunch, Zerkis, Lund, Arver, Zerkis again. All the goals in that first period. My name is Tyler Pisani, joined as always by Gary Allen. And Gary, one period of action, 20 minutes. Can't base the whole season analysis off of that. But what did you think of Eastern in that first 20 minutes? Those boys were buzzing.
They were, and you saw it. They opened up the ice. They're passing extremely well. They're doing a nice motion, and they're not letting up. They're just putting attack, and you can see how they're playing. They're really looking for each other to some stretch passes like that, dump and chase there. They had a purpose with it. Eastern looks a lot different this year, even though you're right, one period, but you can just sense it and you can see it. They got a lot of talent this year.
Now Idaho looking to bring it back down the ice. Eastern starting with Keegan Clark in the box for a hook. That happened late in that first period. Still 25 seconds left on that penalty clock. But Eastern able to get that up and out. Still some water out there on the ice, so I think Eastern was thinking that might slow down a little bit. But Lund over there, he's got one goal already. Kind of slaps that one towards the net, looking for a wraparound pass out front, but nobody there. And that's going to be a trip as Tierney just kind of whacked at that puck and caught the skates. It looks like of Benton Wilson. So that is definitely going to be a trip. And as one Eagle exits the box, in comes another. This time it's Mac Tierney. Just 1 minute, 2 seconds into the period for a trip.
And again, we talked about it. They got to watch this right now. It's like, okay, I know you can get accustomed to playing shorthanded, but you don't really want to keep doing that.
On that penalty, Eastern just 3 seconds of even strength hockey so far in this second period. The Vandals looking to pass that one around. Sent back over to the near side where Benton Wilson gives chase for the Vandals. It's going to go up to the top of the zone. Paulson with it. Pushes it down the low wall, floats out towards Sam Brash, and he's going to cover that up. Technically his ninth save of the evening.
He's had a strong game tonight. You know, again, we talked about it. Griselius has that good, but Brash has done a nice job. He's had some faced some tough shots, and he stood well for Eastern.
So 3 goalies on the roster this year for Eastern Washington, 2 returners. Sam Brash was with the team all season last season. Scott Kennedy joined at the winter break. And Lucas, who told me how to say his name earlier.
Yeah, he told me how to do it too, and I was having trouble with it.
Shichubiawa. He's from Las Vegas, Nevada, played for the Storm down there in the USHS.
He's going to be outstanding for Eastern.
Yes, he's the backup tonight. Kennedy getting the night off.
I mean, he's so young. He's 18, freshman, and so it was nice that he decided to join the Eagles.
Face-off won by the Vandals, but it squirts out into neutral ice. 1:19 left on the power play. Here come the Vandals the other direction. Dumping it in was Wilson.
I'm not sure what the whistle's for.
And new this year, Gary, we haven't talked about it yet. We talked about it a lot in the Pac-8 tournament. Certain goalie able to kick the nets off the moorings. Well, URC building manager Travis Allen said no more of that. They went with the marsh pegs this year. So we know that it's not a dislodged net for the stoppage when it's down there this year.
Yeah, that's a great point, because there was one goaltender that used it to his advantage. He did great last year doing it.
Idaho with it, now onto the far side. Still with it, looking for an odd angle shot, and hugging that post is Brash. Now here it comes, the length of the ice. 35 seconds left. First player there in an Eastern Washington jersey is Jelinek, but he loses that, and he's got to hustle to get back on defense. As the Vandals coming through with speed on the stick of Gortson. That one sticked away by Brash after he saved it off the chest pad.
Gortson did a great job of using the D-man as a screen on Brash. Nice heads-up play by Mr. Brash.
Shot taken from a close angle. A big hit down in the corner, and that's going to get the crowd back up and excited. Lots of action down in the Eastern Washington end of the ice. That's because they've had a man in the box for most of the period. Back to full-strength hockey. We'll see if that changes as the puck comes out of the neutral zone. Thompson with it. He's going to skate on past Jelinek. He's just knocked flat off of the puck. Big arm by Thomas Roundtree.
You could say Mr. Roundtree blew him up.
I think you could. And now here comes Lucas Ting. Ting gets the shot on net. Just barely kicked away by Brash. Up into the air, in and out of the hands of Clark. And now here comes Lusk. He's got one assist tonight already. That one he takes, bangs it off the glass behind the net. Roach with it, couple of steps in, has it taken off of his stick. He's going to jump out of the air and then toss that puck down the ice. Reached up like Griffey up against the wall, grabbed it and just chucked it. So that'll be a hand pass.
They would call it, but I think he was just trying to hit an Idaho player so he could keep it in the zone. I don't think he was looking for it. But you know what's interesting? You got to give credit to Idaho. They could have caved in, down 5-0. They came out with some fire in them, and they're putting a lot of pressure on Eastern. Granted, Eastern's had a lot of penalties this period, but Idaho's not going away. You can tell that, and that's a well-coached team. And someone else is going in.
And we'll see which color jersey for a hold. It looks like it's going to be Idaho. Their second hold of the contest. It's just their second penalty of the game. Their first one coming almost towards the end of that first period. This one, 4 minutes, 16 seconds. And it's going to be Ting for a hold. Eastern made quick work of the last one. Took them just 5 seconds to find the back of the net. They're going to look to do it again here. With the puck now is Best. He's going to put that one on net. Puck bouncing in the corner. Wells off to the far side. Lusk back to Wells. Sorry, Lusk on the near side.
That was a nice. Cole Best almost had himself a nice little empty net right there. He popped himself right on that post, and it almost came to him. If it wasn't for the Vandals D guy, and then Best would have had that netted easily.
Lusk with it. He's going to feed it down low. He's got a man out front. Back to Lusk now up towards the blue line. He's going to circle back down low. Now he's going to feed it off to Best. Best back to Lusk. Wells at the top of the zone. He's going to take that shot. Bouncing around just wide of the net. And now Wells battling onto the far side. Shot taken through the zone. Halfway through the power play are the Eagles. Lusk able to keep it in. Flood laying it off for Lusk. Going back up to the point. Turnaround pass in a good area. Just nobody there in a red jersey. Eastern going to have to recover here. 45 seconds. Flood just going to play pass with Wells. Wells a little floater out into the neutral zone. Flood not able to handle that. Now here comes Idaho the other direction. 30 seconds left on Ting's minor penalty. Wilson picks that up in the middle of the neutral zone, but Idaho can't get it any further than the blue line. That's going to be dumped all the way down now. 15 seconds left. Eastern going to have one more chance back down the ice if they want it. Clark, easy touch pass off to Lund. He's still got Clark in the middle. Clark looking for that one as it was still in the air, it looked like. Crescelius able to get it with his glove. And just 2 seconds left on the penalty kill for the Vandals.
You know, one thing, Tyler, you mentioned quite a bit on how Eastern's developing a cultural again for hockey. If you look at the people that are here, former players, Max Flynn, I saw him. Brandon Carew, the goalie from last year's here. Brent Minderman's here. You just see old players that are coming back.
I saw Spencer Burton wandering around.
So did I. So they're just out here supporting the squad, and that's that culture you're talking about. Eastern's been building up for the last 3-4 years.
Easy pass out front and just not enough on it. Another good opportunity for the Eagles there, but now it's time for the Vandals to head back the other direction. Easy pass off at the blue line to De Leon. He's going to lose it. It's going to come near side now to Arver. Arver's going to try and feed it up the ice for Eastern Washington, and he's not able to do so. Back over to Tierney on the far side. Eastern struggling to get the puck out of their zone now. That one back up to the top, to the stick of a Vandal. Off of the far wall. Now back with it is Roach. Roach is going to leave it off. Tries to feed it up the wall. And Idaho doing a good job of pinching against the boards, not letting that puck up and out. De Leon with it in and out of the glove of Brash. Little heart attack moment there for the netminder. Roach with it again. Thinks about going one way, turns the other way, back behind his own cage. Now Eastern looking to bring it up the near side wall, and again, can't get it any higher than the circle before it ends up on the stick of a Vandal. Now Tierney with it. He's knocked off with the puck back behind the net. As coming in to get it was Wilson. Up to the top of the zone to Gortson, and Brash going to hold on to that one with 12-11 left to play in the second period. Idaho able to stick with Eastern so far in these first 8 minutes.
Well, one thing I've noticed what Idaho's doing, and I give them credit for that, and that's a good job of coaching in between periods. They're kind of been pitching in the defensemen to keep the offensive pressure going on Eastern, trying to make Eastern chase them a little bit by floating that extra D-man down there, and it's working for them because that's kind of slowed Eastern down coming out of their end because they had to slow down their speed somehow. Good job by the coaching staff to make that adjustment.
Eastern with it. Along the low wall, still trying to get it out of the zone and finally able to get it just a couple of steps. Now a good bounce for the Eagles as coming in is Jelinek, and out of his net is Crescelius. But Jelinek not done with it yet. Now out into neutral ice. That's going to go towards the netminder. And they are going to say icing here. Neither linesman had their arm in the air. So I'm not sure anybody knew what was going to happen when the player touched the puck, but just like that, we'll head back down in front of Crescelius, who's saved 21 shots so far through less than a period and a half.
Well, Jared Jelinek showed you how quick he is and how fast he was right there. If you had any doubt, get it out of your head because that kid is quick, and he was all over the Vandals on that one. And that bodes well for him and their line that he's on. He's just a quick hockey player.
Now Eastern with it again. Jelinek back behind the net. He's pinched off of the puck. And now an errant puck. That's going to go down the length of the ice. And again, that'll be an icing, sending the puck back down in front of the scoreboard and preventing Idaho from being able to change.
But that's a good line that they have of Bunch, Lund, and Jelinek out there because they're nonstop. And they're all three are really quick, really fast. They complement each other extremely well. That's going to be a potent line this year.
Face off one again by Idaho, but Eastern quick on the pressure. Puck set right in front of the shoot door there. As it looked like Clark had fallen on top of it for Eastern Washington. Keegan doing a good job of keeping that puck in the attacking zone. And now the Vandals finally able to get it out into neutral ice as Kowalczyk kind of stumbled through the neutral zone, but was able to get it across the blue line. Now battle off into the far corner. Couple players exchanging words. That's going to allow Eastern Washington to get out up into the neutral zone. Wilson kicked that one straight to the stick of Flood. He's going to chase it back behind the net, gets it out to Thompson, and that one up and into the netting in their own zone. So Idaho not going to be able to change here with 10:45 left in the second period.
Flood did a great job of stopping right by the net post and did a back pass, looking to get that one-timer to his line mate, and that almost worked because it didn't went a little too high, but that was good heads-up play by Frank Flood.
Far side, it looked like Tierney was lining up for a hit, decided to go for the puck instead, and that works out well, better for Eastern Washington. The jerk kick, top shelf, goal! His first hat trick in an Eastern Washington uniform, and it only takes him 29 minutes and 29 seconds.
Dominic Dujurkis is going to be a force for Eastern, and any team that's got to play him, they're going to have to watch him. He's big, he's quick, and his shot is relentless. He has such a quick release on that. You saw it right there. He just barely got it in past the top of the circle and just top shelved it, and outstanding. That kid is just going to be a terror for teams to deal with.
I mean, less than 30 minutes to score his first 3 goals in an Eastern Washington uniform. And his second unassisted. So that one officially at 9:29 of the second period. Dom Dezerkic. And Eastern looking for a trip there behind the net. And a retaliation is what's going to lead to the penalty. Dom wants to be everywhere on the score sheet. He's going to go check out what's been so popular in that penalty box.
Well, and then we got a little scrum going on there. Carson Kendall decided he didn't want to let them know he didn't like it. And Dom, he definitely didn't like what was going on, so he decided to exert himself into it. And Eastern's going to get 2 penalties on that one.
Those penalties coming at 9:51. It looks like a rough for Kendall.
I'm not sure if this is what you want to see, being down 2 guys. I mean,
some conversation out there. So just a quick recap of Dom's first night in an Eastern Washington uniform. Scored first 16-10 of that first period, and once he figured out how to do it, he scored again 18:43, just 2 minutes and 33 seconds later. And then you just saw 9 minutes and 29 seconds into that second period, he was able to net his 3rd goal. The officials having a conversation, trying to see what's going on. Hopefully they're not going to get Dom for a head contact on that. It was a pretty big hit. We'll see what they get Kendall with. A 5-minute for Dom. And they are going to send him to the locker room. So he gets his 3rd goal, and then he gets to take a break. Not the way that he wanted, though, as the Eastern fans sending him off after his hat trick. A 5-minute major.
He was definitely letting them know about his displeasure on that call, too, while he was going off of it, too. That's too bad because he's such a joy to watch out there.
Well, and if you are Idaho
and a
player had to be sent off, and they're going to say both players get sent off here. So a 5-minute 5-on-3.
Well, it'll be interesting.
We'll see if we can get a call from the scorers table here.
Well, because Kendall, there was a scrum between him and an Idaho player, and Idaho doesn't have anyone going in the box.
Well, the fans are not happy here. The ref you suck chant starting. Less than halfway through the first game of the season.
Well, this is if Idaho has a chance to get back in this game, this is the time to do it.
This is the way to do it. And if you're new to hockey, 5-minute major penalties, it doesn't matter how many goals they score, those penalties do not come off of the board.
So, yeah, this is a golden opportunity for Idaho. And it'll be interesting to see how Eastern handles this right now. Will they attack like they used to do before, even being down 2 guys, or are they going to go and try to really just kind of eat up the time? But Idaho has a great opportunity right now to get back in this game.
So the penalties officially for Dom, a 5-minute and a game for a check from behind. And Carson got a 5 and a DQ for a face mask. I'm going to plead ignorance on that one. It's Carson's first game in the league that he came from wore the half shields. It's a learning opportunity for the young man. And if you're going to have to learn that lesson, being up by 6 is a good time to do it. Probably not a great time to do it if you're already going to lose a player.
Yeah, I'm going to with you. I'm going to withhold any judgment on that one because they were both going at it pretty good.
So 5-on-3 for 5 minutes for the Vandals. Their biggest opportunity of the night. If Eastern is somehow, some way able to keep them out of the net, that may be a very unfortunate momentum swing that the Vandals just may not be ready for.
That would be a dagger. Let's call it like it is.
Now, Idaho going to pass the puck around. Good shape by Eastern Washington. Back up top, over to the far side. Picking it up is Ludwig. Down low is Ting. He's going to feed it. Up top now to Paulson. Now De Leon bouncing puck just wide of the net. Roundtree with it. It's going to go back up to De Leon. Now near side to Paulson. In and out of the chest of Brash, and a good clearance by Eastern Washington. And now here comes Peyton Lund. Forehand with it. Backhand, forehand, backhand. Middle of the netminder's chest. And that's going to find the back of the goal. Crescelius is livid, and he doesn't realize that it was his own player that pushed Peyton Lund into the back of him. And just like that, Joe Lusk is going to find the back of the net. Is that? And I honestly, Gary, I'm not sure who scored that one. I don't know if that went in as the goalie was sent to the corner.
I think you called it. I think it was.
They're going to say that one was Peyton Lund.
Yeah.
So he got that one short-handed, 5-on-3. That is definitely not what you wanted if you were the Idaho Vandals.
No. And I could see the goaltender for Idaho, Crescelius, upset, but you're right. His own player just buried the Eastern player on top of him and knocked him out of the net. It was a wide open net.
So that goal officially 10:48 from Lund. So he just knocked him out of the net, and the puck just slowly trickled over the end line. And just like that, Eastern Washington up 7-0, but still 3:45 left on this 5-on-3 major penalty situation. And there it is for Idaho. Noah Gortson opening up their account for the season.
Gortson did a good job of getting himself in the open. He was actually trying to just float out in between the blue line and the top of the circle. Did a nice job of sneaking in. And they did it one timer. Nothing Brass could have done on that one. And so, that's just how it goes. I mean, and again, 3:42 left. I mean, Idaho could get back into this game if they can get a couple more in on Eastern. But Eastern's doing a nice job of penalty killing this right now.
Well, and thanks to Lund, this penalty kill is still net even for the Eagles. They were able to get that first shorthanded goal. And then heading back the other way, the Vandals quickly answering thanks to Noah Gortson. And now another opportunity for Eastern Washington. This time it's Sam Thompson. Forehand, backhand, tries to go backhanded into his net again. Goes Crescelius.
Nice job by Mr. Thompson on that one, though. He was getting hassled all the way down the rink. He came back and let the player know he didn't like getting hassled on that either.
So that goal for Idaho, officially 11-10 of the second period. Gortson from Paulson and De Leon as Brash dives out on top of that one.
I really like what I'm seeing what Eastern's doing. They're not sitting back. They're not going in that 1-2. They're actually putting a lot of pressure on the D-men to move the puck quicker, and they're not letting Idaho set up like they want to. So you got to tip your cap to Eastern's penalty killers because they're putting a lot of pressure on the D-men right now.
Back up to the top of the zone. Idaho looking to get another one here. They're going to go up to the top. Off of the stick of Mongeau. And now Brash dives on it. And some extracurriculars there. It's falling down into the corner. I think that was Wilson.
But I also like what Eastern's doing. They're switching real quick. Sometimes they're a 2-1, and then they go into a 1-2, and that's kind of making Idaho guess on exactly how they're playing it because they're doing it all almost simultaneously. They're rotating on that, and that's some heads-up hockey.
Back on the stick of the Vandals. Trivial Piece going to feed it near side to Wilson. Back up to Trivial Piece. He's going to put that on net. A good shield out front. It looks like that was Vaughn on the screen. And now another chance on the rush for Eastern Washington. They've got their wheels, but it looks like a delayed penalty coming against Eastern.
No,
it's going to be against Idaho here for an interference.
Yeah, he put the Eastern player in his own net. He just came up and actually just gave him a two-hand shot. So that could have been interference or a cross-check on that one. And that really helps now because basically Eastern's only going to be one man down.
And with the way that they've been able to break out at the 5-on-3, I think the 4-on-3 may not be the best situation for the Vandals. Lots of open ice out there as Wilson going to take a 2-minute seat for interference. And he takes that penalty with exactly 2 minutes left on the majors, so that will kill off the majors.
And I think you're right. I think Eastern's going to keep attacking on this.
Eastern quick to recover. Coming through the neutral zone is Ting. He's going to bring it across the blue line. Thinks about the drop. Thinks about the off-angle shot, and instead he's going to leave it off for Gortson. And now Bunch looking to make that breakaway. He's off too far to the one side.
Whoa,
and he's set hard into the wall.
Whoa.
And that's ACHA in there to stick up for his teammate.
Yeah, that's
brutal. Going to be a boarding, and that we'll see.
I'll be amazed if he doesn't get a game on that.
With the way that they called the last couple of penalties, I think it'd be hard for them not to.
Yeah, what he did was he was okay at first when he went in to hit him, but then he extended his arms, and that's what pushed him into the boards heavily. And you got to give
Ace. You can hear the crowd.
Cheney credit. He went right away. He went right into it. They're going to get, I don't think they'll get Ace on that, but he went right in. They said, no, I'm not going to play with this. So kudos to him, but I'm sure hope he's okay. The trainer's down there with him now.
And it looks like they are going to send him to the locker room.
Oh, they had to.
And that's hard to argue. He's headed to the wrong chute here for the moment. Yeah. Big hit.
There's no question about that. What got him was, like I said, he extended his arms.
He's having a conversation with the officials at the door.
But that's what cost him. If he would have just initially just hit him and not extended his arms, it would have been okay. But as soon as he did that, he just buried him into the boards.
So I believe that was Reagan Graves who was sent off. We'll get the official call here from the box. A 5 in a game for boarding. So just like that, how the turns have tabled, Gary.
Well, yeah, now Eastern's going to go on a major power play here in a minute 29.
So 3-on-3 hockey out here. NHL overtime rules for a minute 29, and then Eastern Washington will have about 3:30 left on a major penalty. As we said, doesn't matter how many goals you score, that penalty remains. The box door stays shut.
You know, in the defense of the Idaho player, I don't think he really thought he was going to end up having him hit the board.
Yeah, I don't think that was malicious. I think it was just one of those moves where just like just like the Carson Kendall move.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you do it in the moment. You go, oh,
Yeah.
that was not right. So I believe because Graves and Dom both got game misconducts, they will be eligible for tomorrow.
Right.
Because of Carson's DQ, he will not be. He'll miss tomorrow's game as well. The crowd in this building is waiting for another goal here. Bated breath. It's slowed down a little bit. Just the ring of the cowbells in the background.
It's cowbell and slapstick thunderstick night tonight.
You can't beat that. Best pushes it off into the corner. Back to Best, looking to come through the neutral zone. Now a shot taken back of the net. Adam Pellerin does it.
Pellerin did a nice job of setting himself up on the top slot, and he just buried the puck behind the net. But the guy that actually set that up, again, nothing to take away from Pellerin. That was a great shot by him. But Cole Best, he's perfect for that shorthandedness because he is just a pest, and he just put just a ton of heat on Idaho. They tried to get the puck out, and Pellerin was right there, and he didn't even hesitate. It was like a one-timer, and he just buried the puck. Nice job by him. Excellent shot. But he's such a good hockey player. He's going to put a lot of points up for Eastern this year.
Back with it is Best. He's going to feed it over to the far side. Eastern not done here yet.
But I can't say enough positives for Adam Pellerin. He is such a good hockey player. His IQ is incredible. He just knows where to be. How he did on that one, he just slid up into the high slot. The kid is just outstanding.
That goal officially 13:41 of the second period. Pellerin from Cheney and Wells. So two of the more tenured defensemen on this team finding their way onto the score sheet here. Still 43 seconds of 3-on-3, and Eastern has been controlling all of it. That puck down out front. Flood put that right on the net. Still no whistle. The puck's still free off onto the far side. Finally a whistle. But chaos just outside of the blue paint. You've got players trying to protect the goalie trying to find the puck, and Eastern doing everything they can to push it just a couple more inches.
And if you notice what was interesting, both Turney and Roach, they were on top of the netminder. You know, they're your D-man, and they saw the opening, and they just flooded it. And nice heads-up play by both of them.
So 31 seconds left on the major penalties for Eastern Washington. 31 seconds left on that minor penalty for Idaho. Near side, Flood can't get his stick to it. And the Vandals finally have a chance to bring it out into neutral ice on the 3-on-3. They're just going to dump it in, and giving chase now is Clark. Clark back behind the net. He's going to bring it near side. Cheney in the middle. And Flood on the near side. That's where Cheney goes with it. Flood brings it up ahead. He's got Cheney crashing behind. Flood, what a move! Da-da-da, da-da-da! Frank Flood with a highlight-worthy goal.
I don't know, man. Frank Flood, you know, last year his offense really picked up. That move he just did right there was incredible. How he went forehand, backhand, forehand. Unbelievable by Mr. Flood.
And Gary, this is why we need replay. I hear the boosters are working on it. We'll get replay at some point this year so that we can relive these moments.
Because that was just an incredible move what Frank Flood just did on that netminder. He unbelievable. Yeah, that would have been great to have that because that move was just plain sweet by Frank.
And ACHA Cheney coming alive on the score sheet here late in the second period. Cheney getting back-to-back assists on the 3-on-3. Now a 5-on-4 advantage for Eastern Washington for another 3 minutes, regardless of how many goals, if they're able to score any. That last goal officially 14:53 from Frank Flood, courtesy of ACHA Cheney.
And I talked to Cheney about that, and he worked on his offense, he said, in the offseason. He really focused in on that he thought he could do more offensively from his spot. And, yeah, you're right. He's picked up 2 assists. So that means he's actually looking to be a playmaker from there. So this bodes well for Eastern right now, how they're all playing. And if you look at them, for a brand new squad, and let's face it, I think there was 14 returners, 15 new guys. They have really meshed quickly right now. I mean, granted, it's one game, but you just see it, how they're playing with each other. They know where they want to be. The lines are looking solid. This is going to be a talented hockey team this year.
They're resetting out here into the neutral zone. Lund squaring off that time against Ludwig. Ludwig coming away with it for the Vandals. Ludwig still with the pressure. Now up the near side, cross the center stripe. Clark gains the blue line, off to the left side, finally loses the puck, gets it back to Lund, who had a point-blank shot, just couldn't find the puck there. Now Lund with it again. He's got 2 on the night, plus 2 assists. That's going to be another penalty for Idaho. So Eastern going to go on the 5-on-3 here. Idaho coming off the rails a little bit. They were very disciplined in that first period. It looks like they're starting to get frustrated.
Yeah, it's starting to unravel for them right now. I think that just Eastern's pressure that they've been putting on them, that started from the very first puck drop. Eastern has not let up at all, and I think it's wearing on Idaho because they exerted a lot of energy, try to slow them down. Eastern hasn't let up, and I think you're seeing that things are starting to unwind for them.
But as a reminder, in the ACHA, when it comes to rankings, they only count the first 6 goals. So Eastern Washington can, kind of shake out what they've got going. They can keep scoring if they want to, but in terms of the rankings, in terms of the season, the most that they can separate themselves is 6 goals. And I know this is a season that the team is really looking at those rankings. They're looking to make regionals. That's their team goal. Get through that Pac-8 tournament, make it to regionals. How much nicer would it be this year if they didn't have to worry about winning the Pac-8 tournament? Get in there based off of their rankings.
But I think what I really like on Eastern, they are not slowing down at all. And just watch how the motion that they're doing, how they're passing it with each other. It's impressive right now. And
you can feel their confidence by these moves that they're making. That kick up there by Roach.
Yeah. And you're right, because they know that their line mate's going to be there. And so they can take those gambles now and not worry about it.
And you can see, they're on the 5-on-3, and that's really only their second shot in the first minute, and they've had the puck the whole darn time.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of urgency to put that puck back on the net. Roach takes it, lifts it towards the official in the near side corner. That one, tough bounce for Idaho. Big save by Crescelius.
Yeah, Smitty was just trying to get that puck right in front for a tip-in off of that one. Good heads-up play by him. And it looked like he was looking for Arbor. That was plopped right in front of the net for a quick tip-in. Good heads-up play by both of them.
Face-off coming to the stick side of the Idaho netminder.
This has been an extremely impressive performance by Eastern tonight. Just incredible.
Onto the far side, looking to just skate through the zone. Near side now to Flood. Flood down to Lusk. Lusk looking to go all the way across. The Vandals able to chop that down the ice.
But that's the point we're talking about. If you look at that, how they cycled that puck right there, and they knew where they were going to be, and the players were there, and that bodes well for them.
And Idaho going to take another penalty here as Flood was taken down coming across the blue line by Lucas Ting. And you can see the frustration on Ting.
Yeah.
That's not a penalty you want to take at that point, just 2 seconds before your teammate gets out of the box. So really, you got a 2-minute, 2-second penalty here. This one coming 17:46.
I think the thing that's standing out to me the most is how the lines are playing with each other. This is the first real game they've had, and it looks like they played together now for a year or two. Just they know where they're going to be, and that's rare for a first game.
What a save by Crescelius. Bounced off of his stick, and he snatched it out of the air.
Crescelius hasn't quit. Now, again, there's 9 goals, but, I mean, if you look at the onslaught he's faced, he's done an outstanding job for Idaho tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that was at least save number 31. And again, Eastern very slow, very deliberate. Jelinek, he's going to feed it up top to Pellerin. Pellerin with it, back to Jelinek. Looking to go out front off of the shin pads of the Vandal in front. Pellerin with it again. Over to the far side to Wells. Wells up top to Pellerin. He waits for one man to move, gets that shot on net.
But that's Pellerin's IQ on that one. He actually made the Vandal make the move first, and he just delayed enough to get that shot off.
Now the Eagles back on the attack. 1:13 left on the power play. Jelinek with it off of the leg pads. And not able to keep that one in. It's going to skitter all the way down the ice. Pellerin has it, has one man behind him. He's going to cut back behind the net. Able to get the Vandal to skate on past. Now Eastern looking to play some pass back behind their net. Less than a minute left on the power play. Idaho back to 4 skaters. With the puck out in neutral ice. And now up ahead again to Arver. Arver makes one man miss. Looks to make another move. Right out front and lifting his foot was Smith. That one just barely off the mark. Off to the far side is Roach. Looking for the wraparound here. And that was just going to bang off of the netminder. 30 seconds remain in the second period. Eastern another shot. This one off of the mark. Tierney trying to slap at it. It's going to go all the way back to Brash. One more trip down the ice for the Eagles. Tierney has it. Able to hold on to it for just a second. Eastern looking content with just trying to kill out the rest of this period. 10 seconds left here. They're going to pin that up against the wall. And the puck just stuck there. And that's going to do it for the second period of action here at the URC. There was 4 seconds left on the clock. There's going to let, 0.4 seconds. There's going to let that one run on down. Eastern Washington continues the pressure in the second period, leading the University of Idaho Vandals 9-1 on opening night of the 25th anniversary season for Eastern Washington University hockey. Friends and family, welcome back to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center for what has been a barn burner for the Eastern Washington Eagles, netting 9 goals through the first 40 minutes, but also losing a couple of players along the way. My name is Tyler Pisani, joined as always by Gary Allen. And Gary, we've seen 40 minutes of this new and improved Eastern Washington team. I think they've got a heck of a season ahead of them.
I do too, and I was just talking to a couple of former players, and it'll be interesting tomorrow night how they will they continue playing this way. Did Idaho regroup? But Eastern, they've been deliberate. Their pressure has been constant. They have looked extremely well, and they're still hitting.
And you see it right there. No shying away after the 20-minute break. The last period, just an absolute penalty fest between these two teams. As we saw, 13 minutes in penalties for the Vandals and 12 minutes in penalties for Eastern Washington. 10 of those for Eastern came in the form of 2 majors, and 5 of Idaho's also coming in the form of a major penalty and a game misconduct.
But I just can't say enough about how Eastern has opened up the ice. They're playing a wide open style, and they're utilizing their speed because they got a ton of speed and quickness on this team, and they're taking full advantage of it. I mean, down the line, one line to the fourth line, they all have speed, and that's interesting to me.
And that's something that I don't think Eastern's had the benefit of for at least a couple of years. They haven't had that big breakaway speed player, and now they've got 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And we just see this Idaho team constantly on their heels having to chase back. And you can see that their defense off of the big window in front of the roost, but their defense sucking back into the neutral zone a little bit more than we saw in the first 2 periods as they try and slow down that progress from Eastern Washington.
Well, that's the only thing they really haven't tried is to muck up the neutral zone to see if they could stop Eastern. But what Eastern's doing nice with that wide open, spread out game, that's going to be hard to slow them down in the neutral zone because they're looking for that stretch pass.
Vandals with it, looking to get that shot on net, but instead there's an Eastern Washington player in the way. I think that was ACHA that wore that one right in the midsection. He's struggling a bit, but not giving up on the play, and now back down onto the ice. Getting back into position is Asa. Now he's going to make his way to the bench. What a good heady play there by the veteran. Able to stay in his position, even though you could tell that he was struggling there.
He's a tough hockey player, and so he did what he could do and did a nice job. Actually took a hard shot in the midsection. But again, if you look at Eastern, they're still that wide open game. They're still using the body. They're counting on their speed. Brash has played extremely well tonight.
Brash with 23 saves just gave up that 1 goal from Gortzen. Noah Gortzen, who put it on from atop the far face-off circle. Going out into the neutral zone. Lusk looking to jump around the outside of Ludwig. And now Flood giving Ludwig fits behind the net. Coming back to the near side. Adams going to pick it up for the Vandals.
But again, if you look at Eastern, they're just attacking and attacking and attacking. And I think they're utilizing their speed tremendously by doing that because they got the speedsters this year.
You see it right there. Flood to Lusk. He tried to go around the outside of the defenseman. Miscommunication by Eastern Washington. Still able to chuck that puck into the zone, and Lusk just a couple of strides away from maybe having a shot on the far side. Instead, it'll be Flood from the near side. Going to put that into the logo on Creselius's uniform. 16:25 left to play in this opening game. We mentioned it a little bit. It is the 25th anniversary of Eastern Washington hockey. Keep an eye on their Facebook page. Keep an eye on the Eagles Hockey Booster Club Facebook page for some exciting events coming later this year, especially if you're an Eastern Washington hockey alumni. Now here come the Vandals the other direction. Good timing on the laydown by Clark, as the Vandals had that 2-on-1 opportunity. Good defense there, and they're going to have to reset back into their own zone. That one dumps down, backhanded, playing pass through the neutral zone. Finally, it's Benton Wilson that picks it up, comes across the blue line, but he's shoved all the way to the outside. Finally shot on net, and Wilson almost with the backhand rebound there, able to go over the netminder, but instead Eastern Washington with it, now back out into the neutral zone. Jelinek has it. He's got Clark on the near side. Lund finds the back of the net, and that is 1, 2, 3 for Peyton Lund, the second hat trick of the night for the Eastern Washington Eagles.
You just saw Eastern speed right there and their quickness. They did a bam, bam, bam on that one, and they beat every one of the Vandals off that. And that was pure speed on that goal right there. Outstanding job by Eastern. They're taking full advantage of the quickness that they got right now. Lund, Jelinek, all of them, just unbelievably how fast they are. And that's what's going to make this team scary if they keep this up. They're going to be hard to stop just because of their speed factor. You could try to take the body on them, but they're so quick that I don't know.
We got the official call, and they're going to say that was not Lund. Instead, that was Jelinek, with Lund getting an assist, as well as Clark. So that goal officially 4:30 of the third period. And it'll be Jared Jelinek with his first goal as an Eagle, courtesy of Lund and Clark. And now Wyatt Stevenson with it. He's looking to go 5-hole. Backhand shot attempt by Eli Nickish. He's already got 1 point today and an assist. And now he's going to find the back of the net. Eli Nickish.
Did he take that top shelf off that? That was incredible. He came down that near side. He saw it, just buried in the top shelf. But again, Eastern is just relentless right now. They're just going for it. And again, it shows you, which is really amazing to me, how quickly these lines are gelled. Like the last goal, how they set that up. All three of the players spread out at different times, and they hit that right guy, and that's what they're doing really well. The lines are really blended nicely so far.
So I thought that was Lund that got that one, but they're going to give it to Jelinek. So his first point in an Eastern Washington sweater. Congratulations to that young man. Lots of new names today.
But you just look how he did it. However it was, that was just a great shot, how he just came on that near board and just looked at the netminder, made him commit, and just buried in the top shelf.
So goals tonight from Bunch, Zerkit, Lund, Arver, Pellerin, Flood, Jelinek, and now Eli Nickish. And still 14-15 left to play in this third period. This is the way that you want to set this crowd up for the season, Gary.
Oh, no question.
Nearly 1,100 people in this building, here to cheer on the Eagles and the Vandals. Wells with it now at the top of the zone. He's going to go back to the center. Pellerin now down into the corner. He's going to send it to Lusk. Lusk off the wall. Backhand out front, kicked away by Crescelius.
Crescelius, you got to tip your hat to him. That kid has fought. He's just been under pressure from the first drop of the puck today.
Now Thompson looking to stick handle around the zone a little bit. Instead, the puck's going to come off to Wells. Over to the far side, off of the mask of the netminder. And Thompson ends up kicking that one back out into the neutral zone. A miscommunication between Pellerin and Wells. But Wells easily going to chase that one back. Pushes it ahead to Flood. Now Pellerin on the far side. Tried to wing it across near side, but kicked away by the Vandals.
we were talking about their speed, but also their release point on the puck is so quick. You look at Nickish on that one, how fast he let that puck go. I mean, the netminder had no hope at all.
It was just from such a point-blank range, too. With that speed, you're right. There's nothing Crescelius could have done.
No, their release point, all their shooters tonight, all the people that got goals, the release point off that puck is so fast, so quick that a netminer is going to have a tough time because the release. And all the Eagles are doing it. It's just been impressive tonight. And you see all this right now. They're just feeding off each other. Eastern just feeding each other.
Now Lund again looking for another one. Thought he had the hat trick with the last one, but still searching for that elusive third goal. Cheney with it. He's got 2 assists on the night. Off the wall ahead to Jelinek. Trivial piece now. Feeds it up to his own man in the neutral zone and immediately removed from the puck. Slap down. And it looks like Roundtree able to keep that one in. Back to Roundtree out front, and a good stick by Sam Brash. Kicked away this time by Sam off into the corner. Trivial piece has it. He feeds it up top. That one wide of the mark as it took Cole Best off of his skates.
Cheney's going to go in the box for Eastern.
We'll see what they call. They're going to call a rough on ACHA Cheney. It's all over the score sheet tonight. 8:19 of the third period. It'll be Cheney, 2 minutes for a rough. That's the first penalty the Easterns picked up since 9:51 in the second period when those double major penalties hit Dzurkis and Kendall.
It's good to see that they slowed that down. And this is going to sound a little strange, but it just looks like Eastern's having fun out there. Just looking at the players, they're feeding off each other. They seem to be really enjoying exactly how this game plan has went for them. And again, I give Idaho a ton of credit. They have not quit at all, and it'd be easy down, 10, and they're not. They're still trying to battle back into it, and that bodes well for them in the future.
Well, and watching this team, nothing against the Idaho team, but I think this game is a lot more competitive if it's played 12 months ago.
Oh, yes.
Idaho looks a lot like what Eastern looked like in those first games last year against Montana State. Is that who? Is that who opened the season?
Even the California swing, that's how it opened. Yeah, you're right. That was a great way of saying it because that's exactly what it is. 12 months ago, this would be tight. For whatever reason, Eastern just came out fired up.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with the recruiting. I mean, if you look down this sheet, Arver, Nickish, Jelinek, Boot, Kendall, DeJulio, Bunch, Myers, Jacob Nickish, Pellerin, Dzurkis, Kiwaluk, and Shachubioa, the new netminder. Those are all new players this year. I mean, that's 2/3 of this roster almost.
Yeah.
I'd say about half this roster.
Well, that's why I'm so impressed with East right now. Exactly how well they're meshing together for an opening night game. It's like this is like a month or two into the season. You'd expect that. They've just done extremely well tonight.
Well, we talked about where these players are coming from. A couple of ACHA D1 transfers, USHS, the CSSHL, which is one of the premier high school leagues in Western Canada, the USPHL, high school leagues from Alaska, Montana. I mean, this is quite a bit different than what Eastern's recruited in the past, which has been local players coming out of Sehar, coming out of the Tacoma Rockets, and this year they've decided to expand it, and it looks like it's paid off so far.
And there's nothing to take anything away from the past Eagles team. It's just, you're right, some of the players are a little more skilled coming in right off the bat. We have a delayed penalty on Idaho coming up.
That one right out front. And one rule change I think that you are going to be thrilled with this year, Gary. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but one thing that has just flabbergasted us for years is when there's a delayed penalty, if the team scores, that penalty can still stand. And Eastern's been on the receiving end of that a couple of times. That rule is no longer enforced. If you have a delayed penalty and you give up a goal, that's all you get. There's no additional penalty for that. And I know as much as
that rule made no sense. I don't care how you looked at that rule. I couldn't believe it was a rule. So it's about time someone got together and said, this isn't working. This makes no sense.
Well, and I think the officials in this area had kind of latched on that was a rule. So anytime they could call it, they did. It was supposed to be referee's discretion. And they had decided that if this were to happen, they were going to call it. Eastern on that power play. What a glove by Crescelius. As it's Carlos De Leon III in the box for the Vandals for a hook.
Again, right there, Joel Lusk. His speed set that whole thing up for him. He just put on the afterburners. He was in on top of the netminder. But I'm real happy about that rule getting thrown out.
I thought you would be. I've been holding on to that for weeks. Clark just not able to solve that riddle. What a stand by Crescelius, scrambling on his side and still able to get in the way of that puck. And a big hit in the corner. They're going to say no boarding there. Not sure what they're stopping play for here.
Colin Crescelius has had one heck of a game.
Absolutely.
That kid has battled and battled. I mean, you look at how he was inundated right there. He had 3 shots right on top of him, and he stopped them. The kids played outstanding, so the 11 goals, forget about that. It's not – he's had a really outstanding game. He just been inundated with shots constantly. And Eastern's definitely not letting up at all.
They're not. Best has it.
At all.
Easy feed off to Roach, who's going to gain the blue line. He's going to bring it down the right side. Tried to leave it off for Lund.
It's just, I can't say how impressive it is how Eastern's playing right now. Just, they look like they've been together for 2-3 years.
And this is, like we said, just the first game of the season. If they're one of the issues that they ran into last year was gelling early on in the season. By the time they got to winter break, they had kind of clicked. This team going through the schedule this year. The schedule was just released this morning. Head over to the Facebook page. If you're watching on Facebook, just click over there and check it out. Lots of tough teams this year, but this team, if they're gelled this early, it may not be quite the struggle that it was last year.
Well, I think you hit it on the head. Last year, with so many new players, and they didn't have that veteran presence because they lost so many, it took a long time for them to gel. This year, with a nice balance, almost a 50-50, I think that helped with them connecting a little bit quicker compared to last year. And I think that's the biggest thing I'm seeing right now, the difference.
And now a chance for the Vandals heading the other direction. Out of the box is De Leon. He's got it on the far side. Makes one man miss. Flips it out front, but nobody there in a gray uniform. And now here comes Eastern. And you can see leaving that trailing defender is Idaho. And it's keeping Eastern from getting anything, breakaway, any real speed. Pass right out front, but it was to his backhand. As Arver looking for his second. Off to the far side is De Leon. Tries to get it out into the neutral zone, but just pushed off. Arver going to put that on net. 6.5 left to play. So on off the wall, back out into neutral ice. That one's going to get sent down by Clark. And Lusk, the first one there. Big battle for the puck against Adams. And good defense by the centerman out in front of the net. Now you can tell just the speed of this game has really slowed down. And as I say that, here comes Eastern, a 2-on-1. Thompson to Lusk to the back of the net. How many times have we said that one, Gary?
Again, it's just their speed and their knowledge of each other and how they're playing set that whole thing up. Lusk knew Thompson was going to look to pass the puck to him. Thompson knew he was looking for Lusk to go in. He just kind of used the Vandal defenseman temporarily as a decoy. Perfect little flutter pass past the defenseman. Absolutely nothing Griselius could have done on that one. That was a great tip in, but that goes back to just how they're playing as a unit. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. It worked, and again, that's their speed. The speed played a big part in that too. Just an impressive performance by the Eagles. And so now we'll see if they can carry that over tomorrow. That's the big question now. But I think Idaho's going to have to do something to deal with Eastern speed because they are fast. And that's all you can say about them. They got to figure out how to slow them down. I think you'll see them try to clog up that neutral zone more because they can't let Eastern keep flying like this. They just don't have the speed level to compete with them.
Shot taken off into the corner. Pushed up ahead now. Eastern struggling to get it out of their own end. But now on the stick of Best. It's going to float towards the netminder and looking to put some pressure on him. I think that was Lund.
But again, Jelinek and Lund, they didn't let up at all on that one. They saw the goalie was going to smother it, and they just went after it just in case the puck came out. Again, they're just using that speed factor to get past Idaho right now. And that's the number one thing Idaho has to do for tomorrow. What are we going to do to slow them down?
A stand-up save by Crescelius. Bounced that one off of his chest and snatched it out of the air.
But that's going to, you think about it, how do you do that if you're the Idaho coach? Because they got speed up and down the lineup for Eastern. It's like, so, that's a tall order to try to figure out how to slow them down. But I think they're going to have to clog up that neutral zone more.
Wells with it. He's going to circle in his own end. Some heavy pressure from Hagenbaugh. Now with speed is Jelinek. Comes across the blue line, trying to handle it. Gets a good pass off across to Lund, but Lund just wasn't quick enough to receive it there. Good placement. Now Lund out front again. This time, no doubt about it. Peyton Lund, his third of the night. And he's going to go 5-hole, 15-22 of this third period.
If he wouldn't have done that spinorama, Griselius had the puck stopped, but that's what it did. Lund just did a spinorama right in front of him. Griselius committed. He didn't think he was going to do that, and it just opened up the 5-hole, slid it in nicely. But I'm just sitting there watching Eastern, and I'm trying to figure out the speed factor this club has. Man, they're going to be tough to slow down.
So that goal officially 15-22 of the third period. Lund from Best. So Cole able to put himself on the score sheet tonight.
Well, the way Best plays, he's outstanding. It's going to happen. He's just going to be the player you expect, and he's never quits. He's always putting pressure on somebody.
And Smith looking for one there. Got a couple of chances out front, but just into the leather of the netminder. One pushed ahead by Cheney. Smith rims it around. Shot taken from distance. And now some speed on the Vandal side. And what a stick by Robbie Arver. Able to just slap that puck out of the air on the pass coming across. That's some hand-eye coordination we haven't seen since maybe Reed Kaiser.
Well, you saw what Arver did on that one. He split the two Idaho Vandals rather than going one direction. He went right in between them, and that's what actually helped them knock the puck down. That was a heads-up play by Robbie.
There's going to be another delayed call against Idaho as an Eagle was tripped up behind the play. Tierney feeds that towards the net. Covering it up is Croselius. And covering it up just enough to send one of his teammates to timeout.
But that's one thing about Arver. If you look at him, he's real deceiving. He's a big kid, but he has a great hockey IQ. He knows how to set himself up. That makes him difficult to deal with. Just a heads-up hockey player.
So that penalty officially 16:46 to Kiefer for a trip. So he'll spend most of the rest of the game thinking about what he did, game planning for tomorrow, figuring out what kind of pizza he wants at Barrel House after the game. Bouncing puck right up into the legs of Flood. He's already got 1 goal, 1 assist tonight.
But that goal he did, I wish I could see that again because that was incredible.
Well, I'm sure that we'll get those highlights clipped out and posted on our social media at some point.
In fact, actually,
this week.
In between periods, when I was walking by, a couple people came up to me and said, "Did you see that goal by Flood? How he did that?" I said, "Yeah, it was incredible."
Frank freaking Flood. Back up top now to Roach. He tried to feed it down low, but banged it off of the wall right to an Idaho Vandal. And Brash getting to work out that glove.
That was a great job by, I don't have 19. It was 19 from Idaho.
That is Josh Mongeau.
He actually used the Eastern player as a screen.
.55 seconds left on the power play. Puck in the Eastern Washington end, looking for that stretch pass through the neutral zone, and they're going to get it. A touch-up prevents the icing. Lund looking for another one. He's going to get it out front, but not able to get a stick on it was Jelinek. Now a shot from distance. Tips just wide of the net. Back to Lund. Thinks about it. Tries to fit it in that little hole at the top. And a good move by Croselius to put his shoulder in the way. Top of the zone. Under 30 left on the penalty. Cheney looking for one out front. And now here comes numbers if the Vandals want it. They don't look too eager to use that speed. Fed right out front, but off of the skates of an Eagle and right into the leg pads of Sam Brash, his 31st save of the contest.
That was a heck of a heads-up play by Brash because that could have easily trickled in.
Nine seconds left on the power play. 1:22 left in the opening night showdown here at the URC. We'll be back tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, right here in Cheney. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, Gary will bring you home tomorrow. You can still get your tickets at EWU EaglesHockey.com. Just $10 if you're not a student or a child under 16. If you are one of those, you get in free. So no excuse not to come out here tomorrow night. Watch these Eagles take part in this amazing crowd that we've had so far tonight. Less than a minute left in this game. Eastern coming out big in this one. Goals from Bunch. Djurzik, Lund, Arver, Pellerin, Flood, Jelinek, Eli Nickish, Joel Lusk. What a way to start off the season, especially with such new players. And now Eastern looking for one more, 20 seconds in. Arver going to feed that off of the wall. Sent back down behind the net. 6-4 forward there, digging into the corner. Eastern looking for one more, bouncing puck out front, falling down, knocked off of the puck, an exclamation mark for Mr. Sean Smith.
Smitty, he didn't quit on that at all. He just kept battling it. He's such a good hockey player. Yeah, I'm glad to see him get on the board because he just worked hard to get that one done. And
so you can add Smith to that goal scoring list.
Yeah, outstanding job by Smitty.
And Arver going to get the assist on that. We were talking about him. He was digging hard. You hear the crowd counting down.
And the crowd didn't leave. I mean, this thing's been packed. Now we got a scrum going on now a little bit.
Little post-game conversation. As that's always got to be a frustrating situation for a team like Idaho.
Yeah.
You know, you come in here, they played that preseason game, you came in feeling really good about yourself. This is going to make it a little bit tough tonight. But even though the game of Coeur d'Alene didn't count towards the season, rubber match coming your way tomorrow at 7. Stick around. We've got the 3 stars coming your way next. Stars presentation.
Fans, it's now time to announce the 3 stars for tonight's game. The first star for your Eastern Eagles, number 13, ACHA. And the second star, also for your Eastern Washington Eagles, Adam Curran. And your number 1 star with 3 goals and 2 assists from your Eastern Washington Eagles, number 18, Peyton. Fans, let's hear it one more time for your 3 stars for your Eastern Washington Eagles.